It's Sam, and today I'm talking about the astrology of Diwali and a time to bring in the light. Diwali is the festival of light in India where we celebrate Lord Rama and his return to Ayodhya after being exiled from the throne. It's a very powerful symbolic story. It has a lot of astrological connotations. I'm going to be talking about the astrology, sun and moon debilitated or near, and other things relative to that whole story today when we unfold this astrology of Diwali. If you like this video, please share it with others, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. That definitely helps as well. So let's jump right in. As it says here, Diwali celebrates Lord Rama's return to Ayodhya with his wife Sita and brother Lakshmana after 14 years in exile and defeating the demon king Ravana. To welcome them back and celebrate the victory of good over evil, people lit rows of clay lamps called diyas, or also deepa lamps. That's why you see the name shortened to Diwali. It's really kind of a anachronistic name to say Deepavali. Deepa is the Deepa lamp, but it really means the festival of light, where we're bringing the light. That's why the subject of this says bring in the light. Now, it's a bit ironic because you would think that a celebration where we bring in the light would mean that astrologically all the planets are showing light, like, oh, there's all this light. But it's actually quite the opposite. In this celebration, as it says here, the sun and moon both debilitated or near debilitation. You see, the sun is in the sign of Libra, his lowest point, his debilitation point. And the moon is also dark and near debility. These are two aspects of the moon, and the bala of the moon, or the strength of the moon, one of them is its brightness. When the moon is bright, the brighter the moon, the more powerful the moon has. And again, here the moon is dark, it's actually a new moon. And the closer it is to the sign of Taurus, its exaltation sign, the stronger the moon is as well. When the moon gets up near Aries, Taurus, Gemini, it has what's called Uchabala strength, or exaltation strength. The closer it is to that area of the zodiac, the more Uchabala it has, which is part of Shadbala. As it gets near this point in the zodiac, especially Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, this part of the zodiac, the moon has very low Uchabala and actually winds up being called Nicha. The opposite of Ucha, exalted, is Nicha, debilitated. So there are two major sources of debility for the moon. It's both very dark and it's debilitated, or very close to it. And a main source of strength for the sun is also gone. It's not exalted. It's as far from its exaltation point as possible. So you say, well, why would we celebrate that? Well, again, what we're celebrating is this return of Rama and Sita from exile. Rama has been exiled from the throne, and his wife Sita was captured by the king Ravana and stolen and taken away. Now, astrologically, Ravana is symbolized by Saturn, who is actually exalted and very powerful in this sign of Libra. Sun and Saturn are opposites, basically. But in the text, it says that they give similar results because they both have a need for prominence, power, and this Saturn is said to be the main one that can take down the sun, Saturn and Rahu, but Saturn is like the exiled son of Surya, the sun. When you unpack the mythology, Shani, who was the son of Saturn, was actually exiled and sent away to the farthest reaches of the solar system. That's why Saturn is so far away from the sun. He's actually the child of Surya, the sun, and he vows to try to bring him down. He tries to bring down the sun and humble So again, this is a very symbolic story that if you know astrology, then you know that the story of the Ramayana and this story of Diwali and the return has a lot of astrological significance. And again, Saturn in the form of Ravana, humbled Rama, who is literally the avatar of the sun, by stealing his wife and sending Ram into exile, literally stealing his throne, sending him into exile, casting him away, right? So again, if you look at Lord Rama as the sun and Sita as the moon in this story, then it makes sense. Now again, both of them are debilitated here because they have been debilitated. They have lost the throne, but now they're coming back to reclaim the throne in Ayodhya. And the villagers are so happy that Ram and Sita are coming back, that the sun and moon are coming back. Think of it as the sun and moon. Ram and Sita are the sun and moon, and they've been debilitated. They've been pulled down off the throne, but now they're coming back. They're returning, so the villagers are bringing the light to them because they know they've been weakened. So to light their path home, literally, again, that was the literal meaning of the Diwali lamps, is so that Ram and Sita and Lakshman can find their way home in the dark, so to speak. Because again, they're darkened. So they can find their way home. And literally on Diwali night, the moon is dark. There's no moon in the sky. It's a dark moon. So literally, we would bring the light on Amavasya anyway, on the new moon. But again, this is highly symbolic of needing to intentionally bring light in situations where there's darkness. And this might seem anecdotal, like this only happens, well, yes, when the sun and moon are dark, in debility, we need to do it. We need to do it all the time. Aside from this moment in time, even when the sun is exalted and the moon is exalted, by the way, there's a holiday called Akshaya Tritiya that celebrates both the sun and moon exalted at the same time. It's when the sun and moon are opposite. When the sun is up here and the moon is here, on the third lunar day, the third Tithi, it's called Akshaya Tritiya. But we need to be bringing the light all the time because we're consumed in darkness. We live in darkness, the darkness of the ego darkening our Atman, our soul, our true nature. Whether you see it or not, or understand it or not, this is going on. We live through the ego. We live through our illusion of separateness. And our sun and moon, our soul and heart, have been exiled in the forest, wandering in the forest for lifetimes. And so in moments like this, though, when the sun and moon are dark, because this is a dark time, this is why we need to intentionally bring in the light. Because at this time of the year, when the sun is debilitated and then the moon is debilitated at the same time, both sun and moon, or if not debilitated but very dark, this day, with the debilitated sun and the moon dark and almost debilitated, is in many ways spiritually, psychologically, and for your consciousness, one of the darkest days of the year. Because the two luminaries are both highly compromised. So we need to intentionally bring in the light. So it's very ironic and interesting time and reason to celebrate, you would say. But we shouldn't just, again, have it be anecdotal. We shouldn't just think that, okay, well, now that we've brought in the light on this day, now let's get back to just being the way we were. We're always in the dark. We're fumbling around in the dark. We don't realize that how much our entire identity revolves around this illusion of separateness that comes through the ego. The ego is that illusion of separateness. You think you're this separate being in the body with these emotions and these desires. But underneath it all, your true nature is the transcendent consciousness that is beyond birth, beyond death, beyond having a kingdom, losing a kingdom, being exiled in this world, coming back. Because ultimately, that's also the highest truth here, is Lord Rama is an avatar of the sun, which is of the Atman, of the spiritual, transcendent state. And by the way, the story of the Ramayana is fascinating because it actually started back in previous incarnations of Lord Vishnu with Lakshman, the monkey god, coming back to be Rama's savior and things like that. Very interesting, fascinating story. The Indian literature is rich with ways that the soul, the Atman, incarnates and experiences itself in this world through different experiences and avatars. And the great literature of India explains these things really well. And when you understand astrology, it makes it even more rich, because the astrology is underneath all of it. Again, these things don't happen on calendar dates. They happen when the sun and moon line up, the lunar calendar, because sun and moon line up at a particular time. Then we have the holiday, right? It's not, always October 20th, because we have to wait for the sun and moon to join in this sign. So again, very fascinating time of year. And again, this welcoming back Rama and Sita and celebrate the victory of good over evil is what this time of year is about. But the real way to do it is to honor your teachers, your teachings, do the practices, do the purification, and the sadhana, the spiritual practice, not just worship and belief. It's about putting into practice these teachings that connect you with pure spirit, Atman, so that your heart isn't just emotionally driven, emotionally attached, fearful, stressed out, craving one thing, avoiding something else, but having equanimity of mind and having contentment, peace, and stillness, which is the higher function of the sun, moon, and all of your energies. So again, I hope this was helpful for you, and please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think of this, and we'll be in touch.